Hey everybody, it's Pete. Good morning. It's Friday morning, April 16th, 2021. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Well, the stock market keeps grinding higher. I think everybody who's an active trader right now is questioning where's the volatility? You know, that old commercial, where's the beef? Right now we're saying, where's the volatility? It's great for investors right now. Every day you wake up, it seems like the market just keeps making new all-time highs. We're going to take a look at the SPY. We're actually going to start out with the SPY ETF, the QQQ ETF, and see what this means for the short term and whether or not we're starting to top out, whether or not there's nothing to look at except just keep letting it run. The frustrating part right now for active traders, and I think maybe I'm even talking about specifically day traders or somebody who's swing trading over that 1 to 2 week period, is we're not getting a pullback. And generally speaking, you want to get a push and a pause, which we talk about often. And it's that pause that allows you to define the risk in exchange for how much money you could make. And again, I'm going to keep doing this every day because it's the foundation of good trading. And it's that if you enter a trade here, you have an expectation that if it moves in your favor, you're okay with the optimal entry in exchange for the amount of profit that you could make. So there's a decent distance between that. What we're having right now is we're just kind of going like this, and maybe we're pausing for like an hour. We'll take a look at that on the charts as well. We're actually going to start out looking at the hourly chart of the SPY, which is a little bit lower time frame, but still a time frame that a lot of traders look at as far as swing trading to get that 1 to 5 day trend. So stick around, and we're going to head straight into that. Okay, so I'm going to hop right over to the charts. Let me just share the screen here, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So you can see here is the SPY. I'm actually going to bring something in here, the 50-period moving average. You can see the last time we got down to the 50-period moving average, we actually had what we call a bullish U-turn, which is a really strong reversal pattern. It's a reversal of the most immediate two well-offered candlesticks. So if you can imagine, when you're looking at charts, you see lower lows, lower highs, closing on the low, lower lows, lower highs, closing on the low. So those are well-offered candles, two well-offered candles as you start to go down. That appears to be going down, but what if the next day also opens lower, trades lower, and then reverses? That's a bullish U-turn, and we actually saw that at the 50-period moving average. That was the last reasonable spot to initiate a new swing trade in the SPY. And I'm going to show you what the hourly charts are showing and the box that we're in that you and I need to pay attention to determine if it's continuing to go or if we should just start to consider booking some profits on these long trades. I'm also going to talk about a trade in Visa, a short-term swing trade that we took 2 days ago. But it kept hitting this level and hitting this level. And I actually decided to book the profit a little bit earlier. And I just want to show you what that looks like on the chart. By the way, if you want to get my swing trade alerts, my entries and my exits and updates during the day, you want to get them sent to your phone, just click the link below the video. You can get 30 days access. So we're going to head over to the charts. I'm going to start out with the SPY. And this is what I'm talking about. This was the day of the bullish U-turn, right? So we actually keep going higher. We're kind of drifting higher, drifting higher. We're not seeing anything like this. We're not seeing any kind of a reasonable area of profit taking, which again, that's not bad. But remember the window, the profit and risk, right? We're not getting a distance between a reasonable risk point and the next profit level. We're just going higher, which is fine. Here's what we want to look at on the longer time frame. Let me actually get that moving average off of there so it clears up. This is the hourly chart of the SPY going back to the 25th of last month. We just keep grinding higher and grinding higher and grinding higher. We did break the trend 2 days ago when we had some news come out in the afternoon, and the volume to the downside was heavy. And we ended the day in the boot camp saying, all right, at least we're expecting a opening lower tomorrow. It doesn't mean that we're going to stay there. And that would give us some breathing room. That would give us a pullback where we could possibly initiate a new trade long. And lo and behold, the next day, not only did we not open lower, we actually gapped higher. But here's the important thing. Now we have levels to be trading around in the SPY to determine what is a potential change of trend versus a change of trend versus a continuation of trend. There's only three things that can happen. This is the line in the sand right now that if prices start to break, and why is that the line in the sand? Because we actually, that's where we broke this hourly chart going back about a week and a half, right? So that's the line in the sand for a change of trend to the downside. This is where prices rallied yesterday after the change of trend. That's the key there, right? So that's the box that we're in right now. As long as we're in this box, we're kind of in neutral territory. If we grind higher and continue to get outside of this box, there's nothing to do except to hold your longs other than look for stocks that have pulled back, which we're going to take a look at a couple of those today. So this is the microcosm of what's going on in the market right now. It's amazing. If you're an investor right now, you're waking up every day and you're saying, wow, 401k is going up every single day. It's just amazing. The challenge that we have right now, we're going to use Home Depot and Lowe's stock as two examples right now for me and for somebody who's an active trader looking to pull cash flow out of the market every month on a reliable, predictable basis. You need to have that risk point. You need to have a level where you say, okay, I expanded that distance to a probable profitable outcome. So you're okay with taking risk. You're okay with accepting risk on a trade because the reward potential warrants it. Right now, we're kind of playing musical chairs where you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, oh, you're going to buy. And you're going to be like, oh, of course it went down after I bought. It was up 15 days in a row. It doesn't normally do that. Ask me the question right now. We'll take a look at the SPY. How many times last year did the SPY close up 13 days in a row without one red candle? Never. It didn't happen in all of 2020. And that's how we're starting out right now, which is why you kind of feel like that rubber band is pulled a little bit too far. But here's why we don't use, or I don't teach, and I certainly don't use them myself, any kind of indicators that would give you a divergence or overbought indicator. So like MACD or Stochastics, they have their place. However, they can stay overbought for a long, long time, and you end up getting out of a good trade because of a short-term indicator. So we're just watching it grind higher. We're waiting for a little bit of trading volatility. So mostly we're looking at breakout trades right now. And I want to talk about PGR as well. If you've been a regular viewer of the channel, which, by the way, if you find these videos helpful, definitely click down and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you like this kind of content. And make sure you click the bell to get updates. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below as well. If you're a regular subscriber, we talk about contraction and volatility leading to an expansion in volatility. Those are the only two patterns of price action that you really need to know. And we had a really amazing setup yesterday. I'm going to show you that in PGR in a minute as well. So let's actually head back on over to the charts. And we're going to go back out to the daily chart of the SPY. So you can see here what we're talking about is just this one day on news. And if it wasn't for that news, we would have had 15 consecutive days where the SPY closed above the open. And if you know old school trading wisdom, it is that the pros control the close. The smart money controls the close. And look at the difference in these candles here, where there was a lot more red versus what we've experienced here since starting that bullish U-turn on March 25th. We do have some bank earnings today, or actually just earnings across the board. But before the bell, Morgan Stanley is scheduled to report. Ally, A-L-L-Y. PNC, to give you some ideas to take a look at today, BK, and we're going to get into a couple of other bank stocks and CFG. We're going to continue to watch Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan today. They actually traded well the day of the earnings. They were both tradable. Goldman Sachs a little bit better. But here's the example I'm going to use again. Goldman Sachs traded into the consolidation that I'm talking about, and now we're looking for an expansion in volatility, and that simply means we're looking for a big green day. So the example that I want to use that we gave you yesterday, so this is why you got to click those updates and make sure you come back to the channel every day, is PGR. So you can see that it rallied for 3 days here and then consolidated. You can see I have the optimal entry marked on the chart there, right? So you get that contraction, you get an expansion, and you get a big green candle. If I was you, I would snapshot that because it's such an easy way of identifying really good potential 1 to 2 day moves. Again, what we specialize in is that cash flow, right? We want to talk about a couple of other ideas. Number one is QS. Now, this is not a fantastic idea, but something I want to talk about is this. And this is what a really good trader does, is you go deeper than just the charts and look at this massive spike in volume at the same level that it spiked here, the same level that it spiked here, and the same level that it spiked here. So we're in this window right now where volume continues to spike. So as of right now, there's no buying opportunity in QS. But again, if you watched yesterday, I said you need to create a watch list. Some stocks go into your game plan today. Some stocks you need to set alerts for. Right now, we need to set an alert back above $40 to see if the volume comes back in. Now we're going to hop over into basic materials, which actually has started to perk up, which is good for the long-term economy again. So we're going to look at Newmont. I'm going to give you some ideas today. Let's zoom this out a little bit. I'm going to take the volume off of it just so the charts are easier to read. So Newmont, all right, Newmont Mining, again, FCX. You can start to see a pattern unfolding here, right? Remember we talked about yesterday, I'm actually going to come back to the screen in a second. Rio, which we called out 2 days ago. Alcoa, which had earnings. Alcoa consolidated at those highs, so that's something to keep an eye on. Remember, consolidation leads to expansion, so we'll be looking for a big green day in Alcoa today. And CF. Okay, so again, I just want to come back on the screen because this is super important. Remember what we gave you a few days ago. There's the market, the sector, the industry group, and then the individual stocks. So now we're starting to see basic materials sector get money. So now you follow the money. You don't need to make this hard. Keep it simple. Follow the money in the stock market and then just look to piggyback. That's what we do. Again, click below the video and just learn about what we do. If you don't want to join us, that's fine. But make it easy on yourself. Make it predictable on yourself. That's where trading becomes fun. All right. So we're going to rattle off a few more ideas. And actually, we're going to talk about Home Depot and Lowe's, which is one of the reasons that active traders have been kind of feeling like it's musical chairs right now, where you can buy at the end and you'll be like, of course it went down. Look how many days and weeks in a row it went up without pulling back. This is awesome. I want to make it clear. It's awesome, but it's challenging to find a risk point. And that's the challenge that we're having right now. So just continue to trade as it's going higher, but I'm not looking to initiate positioning with bigger share size because I can't define the risk right now. So it's great continuing to watch it go higher, continuing to trade it as it goes higher, but lower position sizing because the distance between a reasonable risk point and the profit target, it's not clear, which sounds funny in a stock that's going straight up, but it's just reality. It's good trading, really. You need to find that risk point, okay? Next, we're going to talk about a couple of other breakouts that we have. Actually, oh, you know what? We're actually talking about Starbucks, too, which keeps grinding higher. And I want to zoom out here. This is actually a lesson as well. You need to understand how to draw your trend lines. And if the price action itself accelerates, then you need to draw new trend lines. And you can see that we actually did here at Starbucks, and Starbucks keeps grinding higher as well. Starbucks did give us a little 4-day pause. If you watched the video a couple of days ago, we actually said watch the breakout at 114 coming out of this 4-day pause. And now we're actually 3 days higher again. That's why you got to click that alert button. We're calling these out every day. Two more that I want to discuss. Okay, let me hop on over to AMT, which again, keeping it simple, drawing the trend lines. We actually broke this longer term trend line. And right here, we said we want to see a push and a pause. Well, we got the push, we got the pause. This was the first entry out of that, good classic bull flag, right? Broke out and it kind of went sideways again. But yesterday, if you had patience, and this is a big thing here as well, too. You got a stock that gives you the entry, moves in your favor, and then stops. It didn't really move against you. So there was really nothing to do other than sit on the trade because it didn't stop you out. It didn't necessarily do exactly what you want right away, but it also didn't not do what you want. And you can see you got paid again yesterday for your patience. That's a big thing. And the other one that's interesting that's setting up today is AMD. Not quite a trade yet. We have an alert set for 84, and you can see for multiple reasons. Here's the downtrend line that we have to get above, which you can draw that right there, as well as this resistance. So 84 is a big level on two reasons for AMD today, and that's going to be a level that we're going to be watching. If we get a breakout there, it looks like 86.5, 87 might be good for a one-day trade of almost $3. So have the alert set, or maybe even a buy stop at AMD at 84. There's a lot going on today. Pay attention to those basic material stocks. Any of these stocks that are grinding higher. This is another tip here as well. Advice, trading advice, not a tip. When the market is grinding like this, it can continue to go and go and go. This is that moment when you're not so much using momentum indicators, but you're actually shifting over to using moving averages. Because when there isn't momentum, you're just getting this grinding move and it keeps closing higher and closing higher, maybe pulls back for a day and closes higher. That's when moving average indicators work infinitely better and also helps you keep that trade that's grinding higher. So if you have any questions, again, thank you so much for joining me today. Definitely click down, give us a thumbs up. And if you have any comments, leave a link below. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome weekend, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much, everybody.